We're back, gang! Nothing violent interrupted the trial like last time.
You know, I've come to a decision. I think Genocide Jill is my waifu. She can cut my hair anytime.
I am terrified of you. Hold on. Where's my weapons?
We're the Bittersweet Gamers.
I'm the opinionator.
And I'm Genocide We Squared. Ah.
Sorry, I'm reaching for my 16-inch baton. I might just need it.
Flagpole.
Oi!
Let's continue where
That's just creepy!
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Oh, we've got several reasons, actually, but, you know.
I believe I do.
Time to bring this all up, because we need to move on to the next big twist of the trial. Hey, Byakuya, did you just help us out?
Yeah.
Or did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up till now, realized he didn't look everywhere that he could have looked.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Allow us to explain!
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Gladly!
It has to be the coffee stain.
Yeah. Or the poster. I mean, the thing that got switched.
Oh, there we go. Okay, the poster.
I mean, it had to have been one of those two.
Yeah, when he phrased it like that, yeah.
That she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Yeah?
It's pretty good proof, though!
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. Don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
It doesn't even matter!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had
a boy band.
Yeah.
A poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Both of these make perfect sense in the opposite rooms.
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
And then we'll be pressed for more evidence, and that's when we'll bring up the stains and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Definitely?
I mean, whatever excuses you could make about the posters not having been switched, there's more evidence that supports it.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room.
This should be the stain.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right, Sakura?
The disappearing coffee stain.
You're referring to my protein coffee.
And of course, she's on top of it.
Oh, yeah. She's,
protein coffee?
like, not only is she a mountain of muscle, she's really smart.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp.
And dependable with the right attitude.
Right.
She wants to defend the weak and is enraged at something like bullying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she'll kill the bullies. She'll kill them all.
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
Incorrect.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
Oh, you passed it. Oh, right there, yeah.
It was it? What?
No, hold on. See, you did the disappearing
did I jump
stain.
ahead?
You went past. Boys' locker room.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I said you passed it.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That proves it right there. It had to have been switched. At least the carpet was.
And if the carpet was switched, then the murder scene had to have been switched too.
The only reason the posters had to be switched is because of the blood.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
If the blood hadn't been splattered on one of the posters, they could have just been left alone.
And see, Byakuya would kind of be too smart to make so small a mistake, but not Yasuhiro.
What do you mean?
Byakuya would have probably thought to just dispose of the poster.
But Yasuhiro, or not Byakuya.
Not Byakuya.
Would have, because I mean, It could be any of the guys, so I can't imagine that it would ever be Mondo.
Right.
But then they would come up with the sort of weird idea of switching it. No, okay, no, I see exactly what you're saying. You're completely right about that.
Yasuhiro's the only other person we know of that knows about the E-handbook.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what makes him the primary suspect. And his weird behavior.
Well, mainly it's the weird behavior and unexplained behavior.
Yes.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
Blood on the carpet, blood on the poster.
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you?
To make it seem like a girl did it.
Mm-hmm. After all, the fact that it originally started in one of the locker rooms is also an important point that had better come up.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
This is gonna make Byakuya look more suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
Well, there's something kind of important.
An even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room,
Kyoko, we're waiting on ya.
then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first
This is where we bring up the other E-handbooks.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device.
Uh-huh.
Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Oh, he's going to bring up the E-handbooks,
Because-
but Leon's is broken. Or not working.
Uh-huh.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? I guess first, we have to deal with this part before it gets there.
Before we can bring up his handbook, whatever.
Broken E-handbook.
Yep.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
That is possible.
That does make sense.
No problem for her. No, I don't think that's it.
It's his testimony we're gonna have to.
I think I was in the main hall.
Yeah.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook.
Which is broken.
Uh-huh. I mean, the broken handbooks are sort of important to the story of the killer.
Yep.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I love how he's just like, oh, yeah, okay.
I am struck silent by how
The facts are the facts, though!
Boss, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
No, the regulation is against borrowing or lending.
Yeah.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook
Yeah.
Yeah.
prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
Borrowing red steel.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts.
Ah.
Okay, so that means the battery couldn't have been taken out, so it must have had something to do with the chain gun.
Maybe.
Monokuma never said that it couldn't be shot.
I guess so. I just kind of took his broken to mean like it couldn't be damaged. Like internally
So
even.
if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook.
But the only problem with taking it that way is that the handbook doesn't work.
Right.
So it can't be invincible because it demonstrably isn't. Now that we know that you can't take the battery out, it could still have had a dead charge.
It may
I
have a
guess.
battery port that you can just pop it out of, and that's the only way you can get into it.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
Maybe your face is wrong.
Well, Hifumi's actually right.
I know.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for...
Whoa!
We still need to address all this stuff. Why are you throwing away your life, man? Although, we still can't say it's not Byakuya. Is that it, then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya is the one that did it, and that weird evidence is meaningless? Really? But I don't know what else I can do unless I make a really big contrary assumption.
Hold on a second.
Speaking of Phoenix Wright.
And here we go.
Excellent.
She's not going to let this get too far out of hand,
nope.
Because she, of course, poked and prodded all over.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
Just missing one little thing.
What the? You finally decided to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
If she was a boy.
What? What are you talking about? What other way is there?
If your e-handbook calls you a guy on account of you being a guy...
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
You can do that?
I don't see why not, if Monokuma allows it.
If Monokuma allows it.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting.
Ha!
I'm sure that thought must please you.
Excellent.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
How fascinating! Man, we would have ended here if we would have known about it.
Right?
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, it won't be boring at all.
I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead, and where she took us was...
Oh, she's not going to do what I think she's going to do, is she?
Lift up the skirt and poke a bit. The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
Oh, I guess you really just have to examine the neck. Because men have Adam's apples.
Yes, but I mean, why even make sure that... Why be vague?
Yeah.
You want to check it again.
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Yeah?
Examine her carefully? Like, using our hands?
I vote he for me does it because his reaction will be priceless.
If you want a priceless reaction, why don't you send Toko?
Oh god!
No way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
That needs to be on a t-shirt! Words of wisdom from Kiyotaka Ishimaru.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Good save!
Very well. I'll do it.
That's what you're here for.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Asahina, that's why you're Sakura's best friend.
Yes, it is! Yes, it is! She probably has more experience touching dead bears and such.
Yeah!
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
That's also a fair statement.
I think he wouldn't!
So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
Yeah, you don't get to go anywhere near it, okay? Because we want to get information, not watch you,
Yeah, we don't need to continue that line of thought.
your euphoric explosion.
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but...
Her entire body.
What? This is... What is this?
Oh, God!
My innocence!
What is it? Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Oh, except we totally saw it coming.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
Confirming?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Does Sakura look like a woman who would joke?
Nobody who looks like that is telling a joke. And if they are, you had better laugh. Also, Yasuhiro's reaction was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's really true?
Like a little flat.
Yeah.
That could be looking too much into it, but...
I think we've got enough suspicion. Anyway.
Just suspicion. That's all it is suspicion.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know?
Yeah.
Heck, I knew that right off the
Of course
bat.
Monokuma did.
Of course he had to know that.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser?
Just like...
Really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
Yeah. No.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
And complicated.
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
Yay, wave of excitement.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting.
I like how it was just like a bam.
Yeah.
Resume the class trial.
The pacing in this game's really good.
Learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Free time notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy, that makes that mosquito thing even frickin' weirder! The thought had totally crossed the commentators' minds many times.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
And since the only available handbooks were female, it had to be somebody...
Had to be a boy that killed him.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
There's no reason it wouldn't.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
He hung out with the boys. He kind of dodged the girls, even though they tried to be his friends.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but...
Really?
Yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, to set somebody up.
Oh.
Like, it's... The motive would have to be, even if it's not to set up Genocide Jack...
Yeah, to set up a girl.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Bloodlust was written on the wall in the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
So Chihiro was killed in the boys' locker room and then strung up in the girls'.
Yeah.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal.
Yeah, that's some nice, fine backpedaling.
I knew he felt a little off.
Really?
There was a certain incongruity to his female...
Oh, of course you did!
He's like, no, there couldn't be something that I missed. I really did think it was strange from the beginning. he's cracking just like you said.
Yep.
And I really do hope that...
It turns him around?
That it turns him around and just lets him open up, because he'd be an extremely powerful ally.
This is the most titillating situation!
We don't need to hear from you anymore.
Just go back.
Everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
I like how her propeller hair is bristling.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Again, the killer must be a male, so that takes Genocide Jack out of the equation.
Yep.
He's off in his own little world.
You don't get to talk!
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya's the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But
I don't know that I agree with that.
I mean, again, it would only be somebody else who would have access to that information that could have done it.
Fair enough.
But there's still the matter of the extension cord. And Byakuya did kind of try to hide it and avoid talking about it.
Okay, well...
That's why he's still the primary suspect.
Yeah.
I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
So is it...
But then why would he try and hide it?
Why would he set it up as Genocide Jack? Was it just because he was so sure that Genocide Jack was the killer? Okay,
no,
wait.
because he would have had to have made it look like the Genocide Jack case.
Okay, so what happened is, just to say, as an idea, the killer came into the boys' locker room, killed Chihiro with a dumbbell, was like, wait a minute. Wait, no. Why then would the actual killer have had to move anything?
To try and frame someone.
No, you're right. So the killer is like, all right, but I want to make it look like I didn't do it because everybody thinks Chihiro's a girl. I don't know why Chihiro's here, but if we move this over in the girls' locker room, I couldn't have had access to the girls' locker room, but I mean, I know about these
handbooks.
Okay, so moves Chihiro over there. Byakuya
has to move everything else around too.
Right, moves the carpet, moves the posters, switches the posters so they're kind of crinkled. Byakuya finds the body first.
Because it's in the girls' locker room, he thinks Genocide Jack did it because he knows it's Toko.
And he found it because he was using the other handbook to go. He knows, just like you said, he knows Genocide Jack is Toko, but why would he do that?
Because he's so dead set on his view that he is not even willing to allow something else to be true. That's how arrogant he is.
That's the only possible motivation he would have in that scenario.
Yes.
That scenario may not be correct, but if that scenario is correct...
If he's so sure it's Genocide Jack, then he has to make sure everyone else thinks it's Genocide Jack.
And of course, it makes him look all the better by having the secret knowledge, etc., etc.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery.
Yeah, he's not feeling any pressure.
Oh, he could still be, like, pushing it off.
That's true. I mean, you did get him to crack a little.
The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
I mean, that could just be a personal trait. I mean, again, I'm not trying to continuously accuse Byakuya, but we still can't rule him out.
Right.
I'm quite happy to have him ruled out, but we have to be able to rule him out.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
That's what Makoto noticed, yeah.
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt.
That is a good way to put it.
He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
Well, that fits in exactly with what you were saying.
And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you.
Because he didn't know. Because in that scenario, he would have been exploring the girls' locker room.
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
Right.
Yep.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons.
We're getting to that.
More concrete reasons to say you're not the killer?
He's just a perfectionist.
I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
So he admits that he did string up the body and write bloodlust on the wall then.
Yep.
Okay.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit.
Ah, that's what he was saying.
I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Happened to come across the girls' locker room, huh?
Are you fucking with us right now?
I mean, after the announcement, after Monokuma's announcement, he could have immediately grabbed the notebook and run to check it first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And until two other people get there.
No, I am not effing. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, he admitted that he altered it.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
It has to be for the reason that you said.
Yeah.
And that would have to eliminate him completely.
Mm-hmm.
My reasons hardly matter right now.
No, it does.
Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say?
His walls are back up.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, we don't have any evidence for that. We need to go through the other facts we have available to us.
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
You're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
I mean, he keeps jumping in like this.
Put my foot in mouth!
Tastes like tortellini with pesto sauce.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
For our lives.
Yeah, yes.
But why don't we start by having Byakuya explain to everyone why he altered the state of the body?
I think that is important.
Like Makoto said, the extension cord is extremely overt. Like maybe he was testing, or no, that's not it.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Not really, no.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
As long as we keep it interesting for Monokuma, he'll give us as much time as we need.
That's probably the truth, yeah.
Our lives are all on the line.
It's like once Monokuma gets bored.
Well, he did yell at us last time when it came up, and then we just moved to a different topic.
Right.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
We still gotta crack him. We had him for a few seconds.
But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro?
It's a butt guy. Killer's a guy.
The one thing that we can be sure that we know is the killer's a guy. Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you need a boys' handbook to get in, and Leon's handbook is apparently broken, so the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy.
Yep.
I'm still super mega interested in this evidence that Hifumi has.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Okay.
Woo!
Celeste's account?
Maybe. Well, we have to see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Isn't there a
single clue that might lead us to who did it?
What about that? No,
Nope.
okay. It's worth looking.
Now who's being overeager?
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
What are our options?
Well, clues are one thing, but
The stain and the lamp.
did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer,
gonna be Celeste
they
account.
would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at
Yep.
some point.
Right.
Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is
I missed!
new info.
Well, you hit the key, haha.
Ah!
It's all over.
Gosh darn it!
You know who saw the killer?
Oh, there we go.
Only the killer.
Woo, good thing you missed.
Yeah, that worked out! Okay, now, you know, we initially were exceedingly suspicious of
someone else
Celeste.
did see the victim before he was murdered.
But she's a girl, so it can't be her the killer.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
You mean talking?
So the reason that we were initially suspicious of Celeste, before anything had ever even happened...
Her breakdown with the tea.
Not just her breakdown with the tea, but before that, she was the one who was so interested in getting to the bottom of exactly how...
The handbook swapping works, yeah.
Yeah, like the regulation about loaning a handbook came from a discussion that Celeste had.
Yeah.
And then right after that, she completely broke down. But it can't be Celeste.
Right.
Whatever. Just hurry up and tell us.
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag.
And it is a blue track jacket in the event that they're color-coded.
It often is. I find that a lot in anime and games like...
Well, sure, but it's like, does it matter what color track jacket you wear? And especially for someone Chihiro's size, the cut of a track jacket isn't going to matter.
Also, if he's getting it from the warehouse, I guess he could just get whatever one he wants.
Yeah.
I guess that really doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, it's...
I'll hammer that square peg into that round hole.
Well, I'm not so sure that it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying that it doesn't necessarily matter.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point because we've already confirmed his identity. Wait!
But we don't know where it went to.
Unless someone else saw it hanging out and knew that he would be in the boys' locker room.
Probably because of the color code, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That might be important.
I assume he headed off to exercise.
Track jacket and a duffel bag. But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
And that's what we're really concerned about. Where did they go?
Maybe Hifumi found them.
Huh?
Maybe Hifumi found them.
Oh yeah, that very well could be it.
Yeah.
And now, so he found it and took it.
Huh. Possibly.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
We already checked the incinerator.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
How could they be destroyed, though? Nobody could get to the incinerator unless they
were... Like I said, we already checked the incinerator.
On cleaning duty. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
He was meeting someone.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry?
Yeah.
Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Can't imagine why!
I mean, he couldn't exercise with you anyway.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was
He
hiding.
wouldn't be able to get into the locker room!
Well, he'd be able to exercise, like, in the pool or the workout room.
I suppose so, okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's really what it is.
Which means that, conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much.
It's already been confirmed, according to either Mondo or Sakura's account, that Chihiro spent a lot of time with the guys.
Yeah.
And again, the killer had to be a guy.
Yeah.
Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Oh, what a marvelous friendship!
We already told you to go away!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
We do?
Huh?
So we took a couple minutes to think about it. The person that Chihiro would have met...
It's got to be Mondo.
It has to be Mondo.
Now, we don't think Mondo killed him. We really hope. But...
I was going to lay it out a little bit better than just barfing it out like that. But okay, so the Mondo is the person who had the account of Chihiro wanting to get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a big focus on Chihiro wanting to get stronger early on.
But they also said that he's not the kind of person who would do it by himself.
Mondo, and Mondo and Chihiro kind of had that bonding moment.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody who is very much a boy at heart, like Chihiro appeared to be from the evidence that we have, then it would kind of make sense that she'd go to somebody that she could, that he could, God damn it.
I know, it's confusing.
It would make sense that he would go to Mondo.
The strongest guy.
And could probably count on Mondo
to keep a secret.
Because
a promise between men.
Because Mondo is nothing if not a promise between men kind of guy. And I could be wrong about this. I think that once we came up with the Chihiro as a guy stuff, Mondo may have totally clammed up. that may not actually be accurate, but I just cannot imagine that Mondo would have actually killed him.
It'd be one thing if he had some kind of breakdown, but he didn't even seem to care about the secret.
When he showed up, or he just kept his mouth shut about it, because say he might have made the promise, or maybe he didn't actually know that in the first place. But because he might really not have known, but when he found out about Chihiro's death, he was like, "My God, who could have done this?"
Yeah.
It's possible that I've just been judging him too positively, but I can't imagine that, like he had no hostility against Kiyotaka after they had their whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, they came out like best buds after that.
And he did make a promise with Chihiro.
I just can't imagine that he did it.
You know who the killer is.
Oh?
Seriously?
What?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
No. I mean, maybe we're wrong about Mondo, but, like, I wish we could just open up our inventory and look at our, like, evidence like you can in Phoenix Wright.
This can't be the end of the trial.
No.
Because there's still so many pieces of evidence we haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Hey, Hifumi, maybe now's the time to provide that evidence you said you had.
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
Right.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
I mean, Hifumi said he found some big piece of evidence.
Yeah.
He had thought that it might be, like, the casings, because it's still...
The chain gun being fired has not been addressed!
Even if that doesn't have anything to do with it, then that would mean that Hifumi found something.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Huh. Could we actually have had this wrong the whole
Easy for
time?
you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from.
Uh-huh.
So color-coded blue, but that only addresses Chihiro's sex.
Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow it's really hard to believe.
What if Chihiro was getting the track jacket for someone else?
Okay, I bet we'll have to take one.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Right.
He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
Bringing it to someone else?
Yeah.
He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
Oh.
So, what
That's
you're
believable.
saying
So it wasn't for him.
The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
What?
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
Of course you would say
I
that.
have a white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse.
I wonder if that was it, huh?
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out?
No way. Not a chance.
We haven't seen Yasuhiro's tracksuit, have we?
It would have been in the laundry room, perhaps?
Yeah?
First of all,
Okay, so
we know
it's
where
not...
Chihiro was headed.
It's not any of those.
No.
It has to be that tracksuit with
Yeah.
blue.
We have to ask,
Why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific...
I got it! It matched the one the culprit...
So, what you're... The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Is it? Okay, good. Thank God!
Shoot!
We don't mind taking a hit to rule him out.
No, I'm glad.
He was on his way to go exercise.
So next, why did he choose this?
What do you mean?
I got it!
I love these fast-forward voices.
The killer
Yeah.
was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
Cause exercising's
I have a white tracksuit personally.
No? Okay. So... What are we missing?
I don't know. Oh, God.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Mondo's the only person who knew the tracksuit, or Celeste is the only person who knew. Okay.
No.
My God, Mondo! Really? He just seemed so trustworthy.
Well, all we're confirming is that Mondo is the one that he went to visit. That doesn't necessarily mean he's the one who killed him.
But he just...
I know, he made a contradiction.
The killer was wearing the same
Right here,
blue
right here.
tracksuit as him?
Mondo.
Dude. That's terrible. Man, I had so much trust in you.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
I mean, to the point that we were willing to, like, ignore quite a few things.
Apparently!
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
And we were the only people who kept talking about blue, 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 blue. It never came up in terms of any of the conversation.
Yeah.
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then I assume he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Yeah, that's what I was saying a second ago.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
Mm-hmm.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone
Nope,
that?
only Makoto.
My God!
I'm still willing to hold out faith in him.
After all that posturing, after all that, like, strong manning, you were the one who cracked?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
That just proves that Mondo was the one he was meeting.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, they're missing.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
How? Who knows?
Whoa.
The only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry.
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
My God.
That's kind of terrifying.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
Not in the duffel bag?
Man, I am really disappointed in you.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
So it wouldn't have been sticking out.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did.
What's he getting at here?
Yeah.
He's trying to turn it around on Kyoko just to prove how tough he is?
Maybe?
Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
So what do you have to say?
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it?
Right, right.
Your true intention was
Right.
to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew he did it.
Ah, okay, okay. That's
Okay.
what Byakuya meant.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Really?
Then why didn't you share any of it? Well, waiting to use a sort of bluff if necessary.
I guess trying to see if we could piece it together ourselves. Or Makoto.
Well, it could have been waiting to see how everything was going to go, picking up the information and like, she's the one who brought up blah blah tracksuit color, blah blah, all this information. You've got all the information. Heck, the bluff even worked on us.
Right?
So if she would have said something about her suspicions early,
yeah,
she wouldn't have had access to that bluff.
Right, right.
Because other than, I mean, there was no evidence pointing to anybody.
Yeah!
We just caught that Byakuya obviously was railroading people into his own opinion, which was under-discussed.
And we saw Yasuhiro be a little weird here and there, so we kind of suspected maybe him.
Just because he was weird, but...
Mondo hasn't given us any signs that he's the killer.
Yeah, he always acted the opposite way. And it's like we kept saying several times, it couldn't possibly have been Mondo. Several times. So it's like he was keeping...
Oh my god. I know that people are saying that the Monokuma Theater doesn't necessarily matter, but what if it was an accident? Mondo was helping him train, and then accidentally, like, dropped the dumbbell on him or something.
That could have happened. At that point, he has no choice.
Yes.
Because if it was an accident... he's boned.
Yeah, but so he has to try and save him.
But that would fit with him being trustworthy and never wanting to do anything.
Right.
But at that point, it's like, oh god, I'm dead.
Well, that does mean that our opinion of him is a bit better, if that's the case. Because it means he didn't just, like, freaking kill him.
I mean, a bit. If you found yourself in this situation and you accidentally killed someone...
Best thing is just own up to it, but...
I mean, at that point, you're sacrificing your own life... And I could see someone wanting... It's very believable to want to defend your own life.
Yeah.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
I guess the way he talked?
The dude.
He dropped the dude.
We didn't say it at the time, but he dropped... Like, when I was going through editing the episode, I was like... I noticed that he called Chihiro dude here.
Yeah.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
You notice such a tiny detail?
And we even did put together that he knew Chihiro was a dude, but we didn't put it all the way together.
Yeah. I mean, it was when we were discussing that Chihiro had to meet with Mondo and we're trying to eliminate him.
Yeah.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
You don't have a right to call anyone frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the reason we kept wanting to defend Mondo and assume that it couldn't be him is because the guy was so nice.
So it has to have been an accident.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth.
Even at this point, it's like you should have just owned up to it.
Yeah.
Disappointed in you more than you have any idea.
What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah, he would never do something like that. This is a false accusation.
Let's go to crush Ishimaru.
Yeah.
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
I mean, it's gonna crush us.
Yeah.
We really trusted him. It's like if Sakura were to murder somebody.
Yeah.
Like, how could we believe that?
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
Here we go.
There we go. Yeah.
So...
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
No, that's Hikaru no Go, isn't it?
Yeah!
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
And there's still that gun going off, or whatever it was.
Actually, you know...
Oh, for the love of...
Calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Give it to us.
Well, you better give it to us now.
Jeez, did Does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
It's like he's still acting a little suspicious.
And even Kyoko was just like, well...
That's pretty shaky evidence.
Yeah.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
You found Chihiro's notebook?
What do you have there?
Okay, no, this is extremely relevant. Let's have all the details.
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Not against the regulations, and that makes perfect sense if you find it laying there.
Right.
You found it on the ground, right?
Chihiro's!
Well, it's Chihiro's.
I got it!
Duh!
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
But it won't power on. It's gray, just like Leon's.
Some clue about the culprit, right?
Well,
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
We knew that had to be relevant.
Yes.
So, I mean, we've been assuming that whatever the circumstances were, that the chain gun fired at the broken handbooks. The only reason that I say that is Monokuma said they couldn't be hacked. It came up, and, you know, Chekhov's gun, so it had to be relevant. And
Chekhov's chain gun.
Chekhov's Gatling gun in this case. So, like, that stuff had to be relevant in some way. Monokuma even popped up to say that the e-handbooks had a certain weakness. Now, we took that to mean immediately that it was possibly, like, the battery.
Right.
Well, that doesn't appear to be accessible.
Yeah.
There's still the missing laptop, if that matters in any way, shape,
That
or
may
form.
be more for the long-term arc.
I
Like,
think
there's a lot of stuff that's been dropped that hasn't come up. It's just going to be towards the long term.
Yeah, I think you're correct about the laptop being more relevant later. Either way, so Monokuma didn't say the gun or the bullets wouldn't work?
Like, yeah.
Like, cause enough shock to, like, reverberate through the thing, even if it didn't damage it externally, could have
Maybe it
damaged
knocked something loose?
Could have damaged it internally or knocked something loose. That's feasible. Now, how this gets us closer to the killer, well, we need more info.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
Nope.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
They aren't.
You're right. They're not.
Not even Mondo could, like, smash one of those.
They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break.
And now he's alluding to, maybe there is a way to damage it.
This one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall.
And who knows exactly how far out the chain gun can be heard?
Yasuhiro!
Oh, you thought you could slip it past us.
Relatively high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break?
By hitting its weak point.
The only explanation is what Monokuma already told us.
Yeah.
The weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
He did say a few things that it wasn't.
Right.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Someone knew what that weak point
We
was.
can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
Huh? You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
Ha-ha!
Appealing to fairness, huh?
Well, Monokuma seems to want a fair trial.
Monokuma does try to make sure everything is fair. I mean, he shot down the idea of, like, the accomplice last time, for instance.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbook?
Well, there are still a couple others available, but yeah,
Right.
What's the reason for it?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
Yes.
The best we can get out of it would be to try and use handbooks to block Gungnir that shoots out walls? I mean, this isn't particularly advantageous information outside of that.
Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Okay.
Like a chain gun.
Okay, there was around the sauna. There was the room full of the
burning rocks.
It was like the rocks. But what does that have to do with any of this?
Who was in? Hold on. Who was in the sauna recently, wearing all of his stuff?
Mondo.
So if Mondo can't produce his e-handbook, then maybe it's Mondo's e-handbook, and he took Chihiro's. It's a boy's. It'll work.
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, so, Mondo. Let's see your handbook. Or Kiyotaka. He was
naked, though. He just had a towel.
Did he leave his stuff outside?
I would assume.
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh?
That seems to indicate that it has to be...
Kiyotaka or Mondo.
Okay, because Kiyotaka stripped his clothes while he was there. Mondo didn't strip.
Right.
Kiyotaka did, and Kiyotaka put his clothes on the floor. He stripped in the sauna, because they originally came in with their clothes on.
So it could be either of them then.
It could be either of them, but Kiyotaka was the one who didn't keep it on his person and set it on the ground.
You're right! Yeah, you're right!
And Kiyotaka's the one who's been roundly objecting to everything and trying to say...
He normally does, though.
Well, you're right about that.
That's normal for Kiyotaka.
It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
That was your public service announcement for Monokuma.
Hey, hold on a second. Alright, going back through the transcript, Mondo never admitted that he actually met with Chihiro.
Yeah.
But he did know that
the color of the tracksuit, yes.
The tracksuit was blue. I just wanted to look back on that because, I mean, we need to see if it's Kiyotaka or Mondo. And if that was Mondo's book, Mondo couldn't have gone in to the boys' locker room. We've got it straight. Okay.
Wow, interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
I do like how Kiyotaka was just like, well, how fascinating.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna...
Well, we don't know for sure that it's Chihiro's.
Right, they're just assuming.
Then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
And the only reason that we could think of, this is why we thought that that Chihiro's handbook was in the duffel bag, was just so that people wouldn't see that Chihiro was a guy.
Right.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
So the culprit's either Mondo or Kiyotaka, because one of them would have had their e-handbook have broken in the sauna during their sauna off.
Yeah.
And then be like, that's how to do it.
And that's the only way they could have known the weakness. And Kiyotaka, again, was the person who did strip his clothes, setting everything that he had on the ground, while Mondo had his...
Mondo had it on his person so that layer of air from the sweat would have protected the handbook. That's why Monokuma said what he did.
Yeah.
So...
that's why I kept bringing up
Kiyotaka.
Yes.
Ah, man.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
But... Okay. So then Kiyotaka could have used one of the other books to get in...
To the girls' locker room? Because Leon's is broken.
Why is Leon's broken? He could have used Leon's book to get in the boys'
and
locker
then
room
destroyed
to
it.
kill, and then destroyed it afterwards.
Okay, I gotcha.
What if they found out by accident?
Mondo could have done that too, but again, Monokuma just said...
Yeah. Okay.
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why.
And back to the bropocalypse.
And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Well, there's two people who took their handbook into the sauna, as it turns out.
Someone who did.
Right.
Whoa, seriously?
And nobody else knew about that.
That's right.
The one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Yup! Ishimaru.
Well, why could it only have been one person, though?
No, but that's the person we need to select.
I mean, sorry, dude. Mondo did too, though. No? Then it was Mondo. So he stripped outside of the sauna. Then it was Mondo.
Oh! But yours made so much sense!
Well, whether it made sense or not, they didn't actually say...
Dang.
Here's my answer.
They didn't say, like, we only saw...
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna.
When we saw into the sauna, Kiyotaka had stripped, and so I was just assuming that he had stripped because it was that bad, but...
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Kiyotaka's reacting because he figured it out too.
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
He's sticking up for his bro.
Mondo
Yeah.
had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
Man, we have tried so hard to make him innocent.
Well, it's kind of had lots of twists and turns as we've had to consider people.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill.
We wanted to believe that. We tried so hard, but the evidence...
Well, it's possible Ishimaru found out from Mondo. Because they're bros now.
That is true. But then why would Kiyotaka be defending him?
Wait! Oh no, okay. No, okay. I was about to jump down a tangent that didn't have any merit. Never mind,
I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I really don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Well, this is a problem.
Okay, let's go through it.
Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
Get as many of those as possible.
If Mondo's handbook is actually
right,
broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all!
Okay, so it's gotta be broken e-handbook.
Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Alright, yeah.
Let's test if what he says
Because that's...
Because he just said it works fine, so if it's not, he can turn it on for us.
Right.
Is actually broken, then that proves that what...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just
And that's why there's all this junk around everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly.
So we've got to shoot down some of them around it.
The white noise.
Yeah.
Your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then
This is really interesting, isn't it? It's like we have to focus on this stuff too.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just...
Woo!
No,
Quick draw! Robot shot!
Mondo, the handbook you have right now. Is it really yours?
Be easy to prove.
Or is the handbook Mondo has Chihiro's?
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Turn it on.
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
Ah.
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own.
Okay.
After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
Oh!
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's. Yes?
Man, this just keeps twisting all around.
I know!
Are the rest of the trials gonna be like this?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
But stealing one isn't.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student.
You know, that keeps coming up. If they're dead, they're just an object. That has come up way more than I think it isn't like relevant to something.
No, you're right. It keeps coming up.
It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so.
Even Makoto doesn't want to be right.
Yeah.
I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
Just admit it. Just have some honor.
What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong. You are wrong. You have to be wrong. Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Are we going to have to batter him down?
We have to shoot down Ishimaru.
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Well.
Okay. Closing argument. Oh, thank goodness, it pauses the time. Time for another cliffhanger, I'd say.
We wouldn't be the ultimate cliffhangerers if we didn't give you another frickin' one.
Well, we just don't want to ask too much time of you. Sure enough, this next one may be short, but we don't know how much longer it's going to go with, like, the wrap-up as well as finishing this. So I figure it's just going to be safe to go ahead and cut this one. We will have this next episode out tomorrow.
So you get 3 episodes in a row.
Now, for those of you who also watch our Persona videos, that just means that we'll have the next Persona episode out on Tuesday instead. So it'll just be like one day late, because we don't want to release too much in one day. So look forward to our hearts being broken even more as our bro goes down in flames.